Corsair invited me to their super secret event in Sydney back on August 29th, where they unveiled a range of new products. There was a new mouse, a new keyboard series, an upgrade to their fabulous V2 headset, and a fighting game controller. In addition, they gifted me the Scimitar Elite Wireless SE gaming mouse, which I love. It was released earlier this year, so it's not new, but I still adore it. It's actually compatible with Elgato's virtual Stream Deck function, which is now a staple in Corsair products. I've been using Corsair mice for years. Back in 2018, I had the Scimitar Pro RGB. In 2021, I upgraded to the Scimitar RGB Elite, and at the Corsair event, I got my hands on the brand new Scimitar Elite Wireless SE. This mouse has a 2000 Hz polling rate and Corsair's MARKSMAN 26K sensor, which actually gives me less latency than the wired Scimitar Elite. Even on Slipstream Wireless, it feels instant, and if the battery runs low, you can just plug it in and keep using it while it charges. The hand feel is better as well. The clicks in the scroll wheel are much more tactile than the Scimitar RGB series. And of course, the biggest draw for the Scimitar series is the 12 side buttons. Now, traditionally, they are used for MMORPGs like World of Warcraft, but I personally really like using them for League of Legends. I find that 2 side buttons isn't quite enough for League of Legends, but honestly, I think my favorite part is the fact that it can be used with the Elgato Virtual Stream Deck. I've actually got my Virtual Stream Deck set up so that it opens Notion, which is where I do all of my life planning. And then I have another button set to insert media in DaVinci Resolve where I'm doing all my video editing. And of course, there's also a function where you can toggle the virtual Stream Deck on and off. So if you ever don't need it, you can turn it off and continue using your buttons the way you'd like. As a lifetime Corsair fan, the Scimitar Elite Wireless SE mouse has pretty much ruined every other mouse for me, which good news for Corsair, congratulations. It is a little bit more on the expensive side, coming in at 249 AUD. So if you can get it on sale, I highly encourage it. But even then, I would still personally pay the $249 just because I think it's worth it and I can't imagine my setup without it. I find that the weight is perfect, the number of side buttons is perfect, everything about it I adore. But the Scimitar Elite Wireless SE gaming mouse has been out since May 2025, so let's get stuck into the brand new stuff that Corsair is slinging around now. Let's talk about Corsair's newest mouse that it's bringing to the lineup, the Sabre V2 Pro Ultralight Wireless Gaming Mouse. The most notable thing about this mouse is that it only weighs 36 grams. Coming from the Scimitar, which is a 70-gram mouse, the Sabre V2 Pro feels like I'm gaming with literally nothing in my right hand. Corsair literally had a scale that they put next to the gaming setup where you could weigh the Sabre V2 Pro and compare it to other items like muesli bars and chocolate bars. For specs, it has a 33K DPI sensor, which is honestly overkill for most people, but it's nice knowing that the headroom is there. The real star of the show though is the 8K polling rate that it has when it's wired. It's 4 times more responsive than the Scimitar. Do you need it? Probably not. Does it feel smooth? Absolutely. The battery life is solid with up to 70 hours of wireless use, and the 2.4 gigahertz wireless feels just as responsive as the wired. So whether you want to use it wired or wireless, you're still getting the same quality of mouse. Real talk though, this mouse isn't for everyone. If you have larger hands or prefer your mouse to be heavier like I do for more control and precision, this will feel very cheap and plasticky, almost like a toy. But if you're looking for one of the lightest possible gaming mice on the market and you don't mind paying a little bit more, then this mouse is pretty good. It's definitely designed with professional FPS players in mind, so as a very unprofessional League of Legends player, it's not really ideal for my needs, which is why I'm sticking with the Scimitar. Thanks to the lightweight materials though, a Corsair Sabre V2 Pro Ultralight wireless gaming mouse will set you back 169 Australian dollars, which is much cheaper than the Scimitar. Next up, we have Corsair's very first professional fighting game controller, the Novablade Pro Wireless Hall Effect Leverless Fighting Controller. So I don't know much about fighting games, but I do know about gaming peripheral specs. And the Novablade features MGX magnetic key switches, which are linear switches that use magnets to register the key press, meaning that you can determine the actuation point for yourself rather than having to fully press a key for an input. What this means, and why it's so important for a fighting game controller, is that you can more precisely control your in-game movements with your button presses. It also has a 1K polling rate and a sub 1 ms response rate for both USB and 2.4 GHz connections. It's compatible with PC, PS4, and PS5, and has a 15 key main layout with 8 programmable G keys and 5 onboard profiles. It can be connected via USB, slipstream, and Bluetooth, and has a slimline design for easy transport as well as use on both your lap and on a desk. If you do want to invest in the Novablade Pro wireless Hall effect leverless fighting controller by Corsair, it will set you back 349 Australian dollars. At that price, it probably sits around the mid-range for fighting game controllers, maybe on the upper mid-range, but it really just depends on what features you're looking for in your gaming controller. The next piece of hardware joining Corsair's ranks is a refresh of the Void V2 wireless headset. Now, while the headset itself isn't a brand new design, the Void V2 Max has a few upgrades compared to its predecessor. Similar to the Void V2, it has low latency 2.4 GHz wireless and Bluetooth functionality that works with PC, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and mobile, has a 70-hour battery life, so you won't need to charge it as much, but if you do run out of battery, if you charge it for 15 minutes, it can get you about 6 extra hours of use. Materials-wise, it uses premium memory foam for maximum comfort and fabric ear cushions to help stave off sweat when your game gets intense. Already, we know that the Void V2 is a fantastic gaming headset, so the Void V2 Max is only improving on that headset. The Void V2 Max has Dolby Digital Surround Sound. You can still use it with the iQ program to customize your headphone experience. And if you have the NVIDIA Broadcast and a compatible GeForce RTX graphics card, then you can activate noise cancelling on the headset. It also has an omnidirectional microphone that you can use with NVIDIA Broadcast to decrease background noise so your teammates don't hear what your roommates are talking about in the background, which is a godsend. But I did save the best for last because Corsair are known for their keyboards. So Corsair had the K70 keyboard series, right? And when you think of the Corsair K70 keyboard, what size do you think it would be? 70%? 75%? Wrong. The Corsair K70 is a full-size 10-key keyboard, and unless you own one, you would be forgiven for thinking otherwise. And while the K70 is a mighty fine gaming keyboard, it was actually the first gaming keyboard that I used for over 10 years. The naming conventions really do leave something to be desired. Luckily for us, Corsair listened to all of that feedback and they've introduced the brand new Vanguard series of keyboards. The Vanguard 96 and the Vanguard Pro 96. The new naming scheme of the keyboards features the series, so in this case the Vanguard, the edition, whether it's Pro or not, and the keyboard layout in the name, so it's a 96% keyboard, making it much easier for customers to find the perfect keyboard for their setup. The new Vanguard series also has plenty of improvements on the old K70 series, so you're not just paying for a new name. It has integration with the Elgato Virtual Stream Deck, which allows you to map the Stream Deck functions to the G keys on the left side of the keyboard. And there's also a Stream Deck launch key that allows you to open up your virtual Stream Deck at the touch of a button. Speaking of mapping keys, Corsair has also released the brand new Corsair Web Hub, which has most of the features of iQ without needing to install the, let's admit it, sometimes pesky software. The new Vanguard series is supported on Corsair Web Hub as well, so you can enjoy your new keyboard pretty much straight away with no extra software installations. One of the most interesting things in Corsair's presentation was the fact that they've managed to save space with this keyboard by 25%. It has the compactness of a 10-keyless keyboard with the functionality of a full-size keyboard plus G keys. Not only that, but it features an LCD screen that allows you to display custom images and GIFs in full color and at a resolution of 320 by 170. And if you, like me, are a knob enjoyer, this keyboard has one of those too. I'm also a fan of the low profile G keys on the side so you don't accidentally press one mid-team fight and activate a random setting that you didn't even know existed. Many such cases. All right, let's get to the juice though. I love keyboards and the fact that they are also different. The fact that you can switch keycaps and switches and the bass, and you can fill it with sand or foam or whatever it is you want to change the sound. That to me is such an exciting experience of owning a keyboard. The good news is that the Vanguard series, both the Pro and base versions, have hot swappable switches. Both keyboards have 4 layers of sound dampening because, let's be real, nobody actually wants a loud, clacky keyboard anymore. The Vanguard Pro 96 comes with the MGX Hyperdrive magnetic switches, while the Vanguard 96 comes in 4 different switch options. So you pick the one that you want as you check out. The switches include the MLX Pulse Thocky mechanical switches, the MLX Quantum Speed mechanical switches, the MLX Plasma linear mechanical switches, and the MLX Fusion tactile mechanical switches. It's important to note that both of these keyboards are wired, so if you're desperate for a wireless keyboard, you'll need to look for something else. So really the main difference between the Pro version of the Vanguard and the regular version of the Vanguard 96 is that the Pro comes with the MGX Hyperdrive magnetic switches and it has a rapid trigger feature, while the standard Vanguard 96 doesn't have the more advanced switches or rapid trigger. But really, I think the fact that these keyboards are customizable, super space saving, and specifically built to work well with Elgato's virtual Stream Deck make them a hard option to pass up. They are more on the expensive side when you compare them to other hot swappable keyboards, but I think that the functionality makes them worth it if you're willing to pay for it. The Vanguard Pro 96 will set you back 349 Australian dollars, while the Vanguard 96 will cost between 249 and 269 Australian dollars, depending on the switches that you select. So there you have it. That's everything that was revealed at Corsair's secret event in Sydney. Let me know what you think. Will you be getting any of these products? I personally am kind of interested in looking into the Vanguard 96 just because of the size. The fact that they've managed to squeeze a whole 10 keyless keyboard into something much smaller is really amazing to me. Let me know in the comments if you're planning on getting any of these products, and don't forget to like and subscribe and tell me if you like this content and want to see more tech reviews and reveals.